Hello everybody and welcome again to Lyra. Today we have put together another great presentation for you, and it's about electroacupuncture, and we're going to talk about its application, specifically to how you test allergies, how you test for food intolerances, and dental material remedy compatibility, and we're going to explain you how electroacupuncture works according to Dr. Voll, and show you in detail all of the acupunctural points and what you have to do to measure them. So look forward to 15-20 minutes of great information as usual. So we're gonna kick this off by explaining to you again in very briefly what electroacupuncture according to Dr. Voll is. It's also called electrodermal screening, or EDS, and it's a functional diagnosis technique for detecting health disorders and multi-causality of chronic diseases, and you do this by measuring the skin resistance at your acupunctural points. Functional problems that you might be able to detect with it are allergenic stresses, food intolerances, material compatibilities, focal points like infections and bleedings, blockages of the enzyme system, micropoisoning, side effects of allopathic drugs or medical procedures, impairments from vaccines, residuals of diseases or viruses, and inherited disabilities. So a lot of applications for this wonderful technology. So what are acupunctural points? Acupunctural points are little holes in the fascia, and they are situated underneath the skin layer. There are myriads of vessels and nerves to the skin, and the size is about 4 square millimeters. On an acupunctural point, conductivity of the skin is different, and the measurements with the aid of a probe penetrating about 2 to 4 millimeters underneath the skin are taken. Readings when these probes are applied is of 1 volt direct current with an exact pressure of 500 pounds. So pathological readings are higher than 80 or below 45. You will notice an indicator drop 4 to 10, painful measurement, and unstable reading. How does it work? Well, the network of autonomic control system is strongly related to the autonomous nervous system, and the acupunctural points are correlated with the sweating gland sensitively reacting to sympathetic or parasympathetic nerves. In case of a dysfunction, the control process will overreact against stimuli, and below you can see now in this picture 3 possible reactions of acupuncture points when a soft microcurrent, like with the EAV technology, stimulus is applied. For correct readings with the EDS, you have to pay attention to your working place. So you have to make sure that some environmental conditions are met. So those are that you avoid electromagnetic fields generated by Wi-Fi and high-frequency devices, so switch everything off. You have to create an anti-static environment. Do not use neon lights. Use the grounding on the device. Avoid high-voltage electricity lines near you, and take into consideration potential scalar wave interactions. Other errors can be caused by the wrong location of the acupuncture point, the skin being too dry or coated with cosmetics, that the patient wears plastic clothing, the patient also takes remedies or has them with him, and that you measure too often and there is a weak skin. The EDS device also has to be calibrated properly, so the standard measurement conditions are that you always use a standard and ISO certified measurement instrument, like the kindling devices that you can get at Lyra. Measure only the points on a healthy skin. Assure that the room is at standard temperature, moisture and pressure. Do not measure on points with cosmetics. Tell the patient to take off all jewelry, watches and mobile devices. You as a practitioner must use, of course, gloves. Check first if the device is calibrated properly. Here again, the kindling devices come already well calibrated from the factory. Avoid painful measurements. So when the patient is telling you that he's feeling any pain, don't do it like this. Check hand to hand electrode. And here the measure must be 80 to 90 and best is to be in the range of 82 to 85. If not, you have to balance the patient for about 2 minutes. And also check the electrode to honeycomb and electrode to electrode scala. This must show the value of 100. What are the acupuncture points that you should measure? Well, there are some that should be systematically measured. Those are the ones that are easily accessible, like the endpoints according to Dr. Voll. Points that are well measurable, like control measurement points, also called CMPs. The ones that are meaningful for your patient, you must measure also like each meridian several times, each vessel at least once, and make an analysis of the whole human body and its functions. What we want to achieve here is to get an holistic view of the patient's state. Our measurement records include the name of the meridian or vessel, the relation of the acupuncture points to the organs, the height of the indicator drop in units, the maximum value measured, and the speed of the indicator drop. The readings that you will get on the device that indicate pathological conditions are for allergic irritation, reading higher than 70, for inflammations, reading higher than 70 plus and drop indication, degeneration or degenerative diseases, you will get a reading of lower than 50, a low indicator drop 4 to 7, a high indicator drop of higher than 8. You should measure and wait 2 seconds to see if there is an indicator drop always, and treatment starts always with the highest indicator drops or the highest values measured. Normal reading on a healthy acupuncture point should be between 50 and 60, and you can routinely measure 40 acupuncture points called the endpoints. Usually you measure 56 acupuncture points, the control measurement points, or 120 acupuncture points, which are the recommended acupuncture point profile on the kindling device. And here you have again a table of all the measurements in units, the interpretations, and the correction of the interpretation. You can go through them in detail by just pausing this presentation. And here you can see a table of all the electroacupunctural meridians, the hand meridians and the foot meridians, with all of their names and interpretations. Again, pause the presentation please if you want to have a more detailed look. So what are the testing procedures and the devices you can use for testing? We of course recommend the kindling devices that you can get at laranara.com. You can buy any kindling EDS device together with the HOMOPATH software to have over 600 nozodes, 3,000 sarcodes, and thousands more of homeopathic remedies at your disposal. Alternatively, you could also buy following sets of vials. One is the EAV Basics from Pekana that comes with 112 vials. The second one is the Homeopathic Basic Kit from Stauffen Pharma. And you could also get allergen vials in low potencies from D4, D5, D6 to up to the second kit with higher potencies from D6 up to D100. Also from Stauffen Pharma. With the first basic kit, you identify the main allergies, and with the second kit, you fine-tune your diagnosis. New allergen vials can be also created using a bioresonance and potentizer device. It's very easy. You take a master substance and you add it directly to the input plate of a bioresonance device like the Kindling MR2. It's then being inverted and imprinted to a water 30% alcohol solution. You can get by these means different potencies from D3 up to D200, and original allergic substances can be also tested as native substances. However, in this case, the lymph nerve degeneration and allergy acupuncture points must be balanced. If they are not, just add those remedies in the honeycomb with balance the lymph degeneration and the AI allergy acupuncture points. Thereafter, measure these acupuncture points again. Pathological readings show an allergic reaction and are occurring when the high values are indicated. That means values over 70, or if there is an indicator drop higher than 7, or if both of this occur together. We also recommend to have an overall measuring of minimum 40 acupunctural points, preferably 56, before starting any allergy testing. Allergies are measured at 5 or 8 acupuncture points specific to the tested allergen. The main acupuncture points for allergy testing are, for the lymph system, LY3, which is the most important, and also LY1 and 2, CMP, and LY1, that are indicating burdens such as heavy metals, mercury, dental amalgam, aromatic hydrocarbons, and derivatives of benzene. Acupuncture points for degenerative nervous system are ND1A, that's the most important, and also ND1. Those are indicating burdens such as pollens, toxins, narcotics, funguses, and environmental pollutants. Acupuncture points for allergies are AL1B, the most important again, and also AL1. Those are indicating burdens such as food, mercury, lead, cadmium, and geopathic stresses. The acupuncture points for small intestines are called SL1B. That's the most important. It's indicating burdens such as outer intoxication and different contaminants. The hypothalamus acupuncture point should also be measured for establishing the severity of the allergies. And the acupuncture points shown in red color in this slide are the most important. Here you can see all the lymphatic acupuncture points on the graph on the right. They are located on your right hand, and they are LY3. This is the nose and paranasal sinuses acupuncture point. LY1 and 2, those are the CMPs. The LY1B for teeth and dental pulp. LY1 for palatine tonsil and deep cervical lymph nodes, and LY2 for the jaw, the teeth, and deep cervical lymph nodes. You can diagnose allergies for heavy metals, amalgam, benzene, and other aromatic hydrocarbons and fossil fuels, as we've mentioned before, with this acupuncture point. The acupuncture points for the degenerative nervous system are NV1 and 1A. This is for the autonomous nervous system. The NV1 for lumbosacral spinal cord, and the NV1B for CMP main detection site. They are all located on your left hand, and you can diagnose allergies for different toxins, funguses, narcotics, and environmental pollutants with this acupuncture point. The allergy vessel acupuncture points are AL1B, that's for CMP main detection, AL1, allergies of the lower body, AL2 for the upper body, and AL3 for allergies of the head. You can diagnose here food intolerances, overloads with mercury, lead, cadmium, and geopathic stresses, and different other contaminants. They are located, as you can see on the picture on the right, on your left-hand side. We also check the small intestine acupuncture point. It's called the SL1B. It's a CMP main detection site, and you can diagnose allergies related to contaminants and auto intoxications here. Next up are the connective tissue acupuncture points. Those are located on your left foot, and here you have a graph showing them in detail. Optionally, we also check the joints area acupuncture points, also located this time on your right foot. Here you have a very detailed picture showing all of them. And last but not least, we checked the hypothalamus acupuncture point, which shows the total toxin overload. Readings are usually between 50 and 70, and highlighted you can see the most important one. As I mentioned before, we can also check for dental material incompatibilities with the EDS devices, and the procedure is as following. We measure the acupuncture points LY1 and 2, LY2, NV1B, AL1B, AL3, and TW1B. These acupuncture points must be balanced with readings in the range 50 to 60. If these acupuncture points are not naturally balanced, you need to treat or balance the foci using different homeopathic remedies or frequencies. You put them in a honeycomb, and those remedies will show values in a normal range when the patient is balanced. Now you test for different dental materials at AL3 or AL1B. And there should be no pathological readings in the range of 50 to 60 here. And finally, we measure all above mentioned acupuncture points, and the values must stay balanced throughout it and in the range of 50 to 60. In this case, the dental material is fully compatible with the particular patient, you're going to get these readings. But you can also use EDS devices for dentistry, believe it or not, and you can establish exactly which side has a dental problem down to even which tooth has a dental problem. How we do this? Well, we measure LY2 on both hands, left and right, and if one of these acupuncture points shows an indicator drop, or a high value of over 70, or a very low value of lower than 50, that side has a dental problem. If both left and right hand LY2 points show a pathogenic reading, then it will be treated first, the first acupuncture point with the highest indicator drop, thereafter the acupuncture point with the lower indicator drop, or the acupuncture point with the highest reading. And to establish which kind of problems there are, we place different nozzles in the honeycomb and check the LY2. That isode is for infection of ostitis and pulpitis, etc. And changing the readings on LY2 toward a pathogenic value shows which problems the foci had. Now place remedies in the honeycomb and try to rebalance the LY2 and until the readings show again values between 50 and 60. To establish which tooth specifically has a problem, we place the dental electrode on the stylus tip and place it on the junction between the gum and the tooth root. To give it through the dental electrode, we give a slight energy impulse that doesn't hurt at all, using a frequency of only 10 Hz and an intensity of 2 to 3. You press the black button on the probe and do this for about 2 minutes. And the patient must feel a slight tingling. Measure again the LY2 afterwards, and if the readings are higher than 50 to 60, that tooth has a problem. If the readings remain constant at 50 to 60, that tooth is not the focus. Treating the problems then with AAV, we do it by adding different remedies to the honeycombs to rebalance the LY2. And to get the acupuncture point readings in the range of 50 to 60 again. For acute inflammations, we use lower potencies of D3. We can also do a dental diagnosis using VIALS with electroacupuncture according to Dr. Voll. And the specific acupuncture point for this is LY2 again. If the LY2 acupuncture point is balanced, the measurements can start immediately with adding the original dental substances in a honeycomb. No changes means no burdens for the specific material here. If the LY2 acupuncture point is not balanced, this must first be balanced using the different isodes or using the frequency balancing system from the kindling Wistron, and only thereafter the measurements can take place. If the LY2 is balanced and by adding the original dental substance in the honeycomb the readings are worsening, that means that the dental substance is an allergen for that person. The best dental diagnosis is possible if the dental vials are used. In this case, a vial which worsens the reading is the allergic substance, and only for a balanced LY2 acupuncture point again. Using a rolling electrode that comes included with the Wistron, for example, and a broadcasting system integrated in it, the mandible and maxilla are rolled for 2 to 5 minutes. Where red spots appear, there is an infected or pathologically active area. After the tooth extraction, you can use the same electrode and a sedating frequency that also is included in the Wistron system to calm and better heal the wound left after the extraction of the tooth. Another option in the kindling devices with the HOMOPATH software is to do the dental diagnosis via the software. Here we measure hand-to-hand with the hand-to-hand electrodes, and the values must be between 80 and 90 if there are no problems. Measure afterwards the following LY acupuncture point to establish if there is a problem related to the jaws and teeth or to other organs related to the teeth. This is LY1, L1 and 2, LY1A, LY2, LY2A, and LY3. Measure also the following organ CMPs to see if the LY acupuncture point problems arise from related organs. Those would be LU10, LI1B, NV1B, CI8D, AAL1B, or OR1B, TW1B, HT8C, SI1B. Check the teeth organs diagram also. If the LY2 acupuncture point is not balanced, it can be a jaw, tooth, or a neck head problem. Start testing in the following order from 1,1 here in this slide to 1,5. The nosodes that trigger toxins and act specifically, the sarcodes that are supporting specifically an organ, the vials with potentate toxins like amalgam and trigger specific toxin purge, and potentate allopathic drugs trigger a specific toxin purge, for example. Homeopathic remedies trigger toxins purge. And of course, as I told you before, the kindling devices can be combined with the awesome HOMOPATH software that brings you many advantages. Well, EAV in itself is a measurement routine with a very high safety level during application, and you will obtain comparable results which allow an easy diagnosis and later on a scientific analysis. And with the HOMOPATH software, you get a good record of the obtained results, and you will need a very short period of initial training as a beginner with this technology. The software automatically also indicates pathological readings, keeps the data manageable, and gives hints for an approach to the treatment. It's like a tutor. HOMOPATH software also is coming with over 60,000 pre-recorded homeopathic remedies, nosodes, and sarcodes. And with a Wistron system together with the homopathic software, you can also create customized remedies, which is amazing. In this chart, you can see why we've concentrated so much on dental problems. This is because there is a teeth and organ relationship that is very nicely pictured here. You can pause again the slide and have a more in-depth look at it. But to take away is that your organs are related to your teeth, and that's why we spent all the time explaining to you how you measure the acupuncture point. But of course, EAV offers you much more than just dental diagnosis and therapies. For example, you could have post-operative extractions, hematomas, swelling, and pain that can be treated. And here you just press on the kindling device the FS and swing impulse button. You choose a frequency of 10 Hz and an intensity of 2 to 3. For light problems, you roll the jaws from the outside for 5 minutes and from the inside with a gingival electrode that is included in the set to the gum around the problem. If during these rolling operations the red spots appear, there is still a focus, infection or inflammation. Inflammations in the head-neck area can be also determined with the EAV devices. If a patient has indications and tests showing inflammatory processes located in the head-neck region, which cannot be well localized, then you can proceed as following. Check first the organ CMPs, LU10, LI1B, NV1B, CL8B, AL1B, OR1B, TW1B, HD8C, and SL1B. And if the readings are in the normal range, which is not expected if there is an inflammatory disease, then there is no need for a dental treatment. If the CMP shows pathogenic readings, you can use the face rolling electrode with the same parameters as above mentioned and see if any red spots appear on the jaws. If the spots are not appearing clearly, you need to repeat the procedure as described in the previous slide about the teeth-organ correlation. And finally, you follow up with a classical dental diagnosis described in a previous slide about how to localize the foci. So let's wrap this presentation up by going over some main points. First of all, as we have hopefully shown you, electroacupuncture, according to Dr. Voll, also known as electrodermal screening, is a very reliable and easy to use methodology to test compatibilities and allergies. If not the best, maybe. The best medicine, though, is your food, and therefore check what you eat and drink regularly. Not all supplements are good for you, and those which are helpful cannot be taken over years. So update every 3 months your supplementation. You get many remedies also and pharmaceutical drugs. Learn therefore which one really help you and are compatible with your health condition. And here again, the EDS technology, as we've shown you, can show you compatibilities and what works best for you. When you visit a dentist, ask also for dental material compatibility tests. Ask your body about what is good for you. So listen inside of you. Use the EAV method and the kindling EAV devices that are famous for their accuracy and reliability. And for consumers, we, for example, recommend here the kindling ACUPUNCTURE M2, which is very easy to operate and has a very user-friendly design. If you are a professional doctor, add to any kindling electroacupuncture device the HOMOPATH software. That gives you a rich pre-recorded database of over 60,000 remedies. The HOMOPATH software calculates also automatically the meridian diagnosis and therapy based on the measurements. And with it, you can, in combination with the Vistron EAV device from kindling, you can create also custom-made homeopathic remedies for your patient. As always, if you have any further questions, you need training or for webinars, you can call us up or visit us at www.lyranara.com. And do not forget, we are always open to your questions. If you need consulting, feel free to call us anytime. And once again, thank you for your time and your attention. Please like and share this with your friends if you've enjoyed this presentation, and hope to hear you and see you again soon at lyranara.com. Thank you.